What's up, Raider Nation? Your buddy Murf back once again for what we trust will be a fantastic episode of Raiders Fan Radio, where we take a lighter side journey into the dark side.
Hi, I'm Swag Jeff from Raiders Fan Radio, where we take a lighter side journey into the dark side. And
You're listening to the Raiders Fan Radio Rundown. Just win, baby! What's up, Raider Nation? Your buddy Murf back once again for, I think I already said that, back once again for a fantastic episode of the Raiders Fan Radio Rundown, coming to you live from the foyer.
That's right. We are giving the tour. You know, we said a couple weeks ago on the rundown that we're going to give a tour of the fan cave, the fan house, and here we are. You know, right in front of Frankie right here. So we're doing the damn thing.
Absolutely, right here in front of old Blue Eyes. You know, nothing's more synonymous than Vegas than the Rat Pack and old Blue Eyes, and so we thought that'd be a good representation here from the foyer, Jeff.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah,
why not? Absolutely.
Hey, what are you gonna do?
Oh yeah, what else are we gonna do?
I don't know.
We can't do the fan cave shit.
Can't do the fan cave because we're still working on selling my house. Unbelievable. This thing is dragging on way longer than we expected it was going to. So, which is kind of a disappointment because we kind of think about the fan cave as a signature of Raiders Fan Radio. It's kind of a signature of our show. But anyways, Fan Cave 2.0 is still loading. Hopefully very, very soon. But they don't care about that.
They don't care about that shit. When are we going to talk about the Raiders?
Yeah, they don't want to hear about my housekeeping.
No,
I don't care about my personal life.
Well, sometimes they can get personal, though.
They can get personal.
Which is the segue to our first segment.
Absolutely. We're going to talk a little bit about the Twitters. But before we do that, do us a favor. If you have not liked or subscribed to the show yet, please do that on the YouTubes. Hit the thumbs up. Hit the subscribe button.
Smash the bell.
Smash the bell, as the kids say. You can become a member. For only $5 a month, you can become a member of the Raiders Fan Radio community. You can get made that way, and you get special emojis and badges and different colors on your name in the live chats and some cool stuff. So definitely check that out if you haven't done that yet. And 100% of that money that we raise with your memberships or advertising or anything else that we do, all that money goes to the One Nation Foundation, which is our nonprofit associated with the show. So we appreciate you all for doing that. If you're an audio podcast listener, please hit a review there on the old Apple Podcasts. Hit the 5 stars. Give us a review if you don't mind, please. Help spread the word about Raiders Fan Radio.
Hit the auto download too on the podcast.
Oh,
if you hit the auto download, it'll immediately come to your phone. You won't have to click it or anything, and that also helps us out. So
absolutely, absolutely. So we appreciate you, Raider Nation, very much for doing that and the way that you support us here at Raiders Fan Radio. All right, so I mentioned my name is Murf, and this is my best friend and yours from the left chair here in the
left cheek of Frankie.
Left cheek of old Blue Eyes there. And so Swag Jeff, before we started tonight, we were kind of talking and we were going over some stuff. So like, there's literally no news. Like, unless you want to hear some, fan podcasters talk about Josh Jacobs for the 150th time. There's literally, oops, look, I just pulled out my underwear. I was trying to pull my shorts out.
Nice.
And pull my underwear out.
Nice.
Yeah, well, shout out me undies. Jeez, I don't know what's going on here. There we go. Boy, I picked the wrong shorts to where I'm all sliding around over here and stuff.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah, I'm trying to, my moose knuckles are getting ready to pop out.
Don't tell us about your life.
Hey. Anyway, so there's like literally like nothing to talk about. You guys already know the thing with Josh Jacobs. I think I could put a bow on it like this, Jeff, that for me, I've really landed on this idea that there is no bad guy. No. There is no villain. This isn't the Raiders dropping the ball. This isn't the regime not doing the right thing. This isn't Josh Jacobs being unfair in his threat and now likely holdout of training camp. I think it's a tool for him, frankly, to sit out because running backs take a beating as it is anyways. And while it might take him a game or two to kind of get used to getting banged around a little bit, ultimately it's not going to harm him in the long run. It will probably save him, if anything, because we know that vets, they like to miss training camp, frankly. Sure. So I don't think there's any bad thing to point. You can't point at the CBA. Like, they're not going to amend it for one position. This thing is designed for the majority of players, not for a small amount of players like running backs. The notion out there that, the average kicker gets paid more than the average running back.
Oh my
bullshit.
God.
There's
there's only 32 kickers in the NFL, and there's 300 running backs in the NFL. Some of them making, peanuts, and then some make it, and then it just brings that average down.
Exactly. So all the different skews and takes and all the things where it's such a polarizing place to be on Twitter, and we're going to talk about Twitter soon enough, but it's such a polarizing place to be that ultimately, there is not a polarization here. There's not a good, there's not a bad. This is just the way that the business is currently structured.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate for the players. I wish them, I wish it were better for them.
Sure.
At the same time, feel sorry for someone that's going to make $10 million. I'm sorry. I'd like to make $10 million once. You know what I'm saying?
I would only need to make it once.
So I really struggle with that. Now, granted, what Josh Jacobs does is very rare. It's very unique. It's he deserves to be rewarded. I'm a capitalist at heart. I don't begrudge him for trying to make whatever he can make and get in his bag. But at the same time, I don't feel sorry for millionaires, man.
Yeah, I don't either, man. But I really think too that you got to remember too with this team is I don't think Josh McDaniels, I don't think Dave Ziegler, I don't think anybody else really thought that Josh Jacobs was going to have the year that he did last year. Clearly not. Clearly not because they, declined his 5th-year option. But, the way McDaniel's offense has always run is it's a running back by committee kind of thing. And so I really think that they thought that's what was going to happen. That's why they drafted Zamir White. That's why they bring in Brandon Bolden. That's why they have all these other guys. They bring in Britton Brown, Sincere McCormick, and all that stuff. And I think we're going to see a lot more of that style of McDaniel's offense, whether Josh Jacobs is here or not. So are you going to overpay? Are you going to pay a lot of money for a guy that, is still going to be on a committee thing? You don't know. I mean, but then you see Adam Schefter come out and say that, well, the Raiders did offer him a 3-year deal. So, I don't know how much more security Josh Jacobs wants. I don't know. But all that being said, like you said, there's not a bad guy in this. It's just, unfortunately, it's just the way that the business is right now. And, and respect to all the other running backs that are coming to the aid of Saquon and Josh and all that stuff. But I mean, some of those guys, Christian McCaffrey, Derrick Henry, they all already got their bags, so I mean, they can feel sorry from a distance, but I don't know. There's not a bad guy in this, but it's unfortunately, like Saquon said, it is what it is. The end.
The end. That's it. So, we'll see where it goes. I mean, I think ultimately, and we've kind of felt this way all along. Josh Jacobs is going to report probably, week 1 and then get to it. He's not going to miss game checks. These guys get paid per game. They don't get paid, that $10 million. No, he's going to get $600,000 a game or a week or whatever. And so he's not going to miss a game check. Because here's the thing, man, when you're in your prime like that, you can't go earn that money again. You've got to earn twice as much to be able to make up for that opportunity that you've cost yourself. So, he's not going to leave any money on the table. So he'll be back, Raider Nation. And here's the thing. The Raiders could always tag him again, too. Now, I don't think they're going to tag him for probably $12 million was what they're saying that the next franchise tag for running backs could be. It'd be $12 million. But, crazier things have happened. If he leads the league in rushing again, they may just want to tag him a second time. So, anyways, this thing, it could get a little uglier, but probably not a ton. And really, last thing I'll say about it is this. You mentioned the young guys. If I'm Zamir White, Britton Brown, any of those guys, Sincere McCormick, if I'm any of those 3 guys, I'm salivating. I'm thanking Josh Jacobs for staying at the house. Because now I'm getting all the reps in practice. I'm going to get all the exposure. When the Raiders play the Niners in Las Vegas at our only home preseason game, they're the ones that are going to be on display. Where even last year, if you think about it, they played Josh Jacobs in the preseason. Yeah. So even those guys, those younger guys that were there already, didn't get a ton of reps because Josh Jacobs was getting so many reps in preseason. Sure. So I think it's going to be good for those guys. I think it's going to be good for our team in the long run. And yeah, like you're saying, ultimately McDaniels runs a multi-back system. So if Josh stays out, even if he sits out the year, I don't think it impacts the coaching staff as greatly as maybe what it would in other scenarios. The days of the bell cow running back are just over, man. Yeah. Adrian Peterson was kind of the last of the least that I can think of. I mean, Derek's like that. I'd say if any of the modern day guys,
yeah, Derrick Henry.
Derek's
like
about
that.
as close as it gets. But I mean, since Peterson retired, can you think of anybody else?
No,
Like,
no.
I mean, you look at the guy like Austin Eckler scores all these damn touchdowns. Dalvin Cook, amazing player. Chubb, all these guys like. Zeke, I thought might have been one of those guys for a minute.
Yeah.
But now he's bounced. You know what I mean? So
yeah, well, and when you look to those other guys that got their bags, maybe in the last 5, 6, 7 years, those running backs that did get massive paydays, guys like Zeke, guys like Todd Gurley, all those kind of guys. Where are they at?
Gurley.
Where are they at?
Yeah.
They're not on a team right now.
Yeah.
Is
Gurley even in the league anymore?
No, heck no, he's not. No. So you look at a lot of those guys, and those guys that did get the bag, the team that signed them kind of regretted it at some point. And just see you bye.
Yeah.
We can't keep doing this. So, I mean.
And then did you see the graph the other day that someone put out of starting running backs since 1995 for Super Bowl winners and where they ranked in terms of like rushing and contract? And like, other than I think it was Emmitt Smith since 95? I can't remember whatever the date was.
Yeah.
It's been since Emmitt Smith that the leading rusher on the team or leading rusher in the league won the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
I mean, it's unbelievable, man.
Yeah, and I think there was another stat that said it was like 99, I think, when Marshall Faulk was in the Super Bowl was the last time that it was a first-team All-Pro running back was in the Super Bowl. So that's like 25 years ago.
But he was a multi-talented type running back too.
Sure.
Marshall Faulk was so dynamic. He was like more like a McCaffrey style where he can catch the ball. Like, and here's another thought too. Speaking of that, I think that for this thing to correct itself, if I'm a young running back, if I'm in college, right? Because the position is not going to restructure financially in the league. If I'm a young running back and I'm clearly a standout and I can clearly show that my skill set is greater than those that are around me. So I got a good look at a D1 school. I've got a good look at a big program, whatever, an SEC program, whatever. I'm going to start learning how to run routes. I'm going to start hitting that jugs machine after practice. I'm going to start honing my ability to get out of the backfield. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm going to be a hybrid wide receiver running back.
I want to be Deebo Samuel more than I want to be Josh Jacobs if I'm a young running back. You know what I'm saying?
There's a lot of truth to that, dude.
And I think that is a way to get this thing course corrected, is that if I can go in motion and line up in the slot, my value is way higher than turning around and handing it to me and having me hit an A gap.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And, in Josh Jacobs' defense, I don't want to undervalue what he means to this team because it's clear that he's a game changer. It's clear, yes, he led the league in rushing and all that stuff. But to counterpoint myself, we also only won 6 games.
Yeah, that's true. When he had an off year, we went to the playoffs.
Yeah, absolutely. So
defense, Jeff, defense.
Well, yeah. Well, Josh Jacobs doesn't play defense either. So anyway, So I think the deal will get done, and I think Raider Nation, you can expect for Josh Jacobs to rock the silver and black for one swan song.
I think we got him 1 year.
Because I think you got him on a 1-year deal because I think after this tag, I mean, it's possible that the Raiders, like you said, tag him a second time. But I think that's it. I think he's going to
but why would you tag
look elsewhere to find his next contract, whatever. And, and I know a lot of people are going to be really upset with that because, and they're going to blame McDaniels for letting a homegrown guy like Josh Jacobs walk. But we've also got other homegrown guys coming in. So, Yeah,
because if they were going to actually tag him again, if you think about it, if they're going to tag him again, they could have offered him then 2 years, $22 million fully guaranteed. Would have been the exact same scenario.
Yeah.
So then maybe they had a third. So then maybe it's 3 years, $32 million. You know what I mean? Like 18 guaranteed or what?
Sure.
I'll bet you that was what.
And I bet that there was probably a third year out.
100%. That's what I think too. And I think that's where when he got hung up on the security of it, it's only going to be one of two things: length of contract or guaranteed money.
Yep.
So if they did have an interest in tagging him a second time, The minimum guaranteed money would be 22 because franchise tag's fully guaranteed. So, and then you're right. And then that third one is just kind of like maybe an $8 million a year and we can get out of it.
We can cut you with no dead cap money and all that stuff.
Yeah, nothing guaranteed, not in year 3. You know what I mean? So I think you're right. We're going to have him one more year and then we're going to say goodbye to Josh Jacobs and wish him the best in the next steps and wherever he ends up next.
Yep.
So, all right, Swag Jeff, hit a break and then let's talk about the Twitter.
Absolutely.
Hey Raider Nation, this is Max Crosby from the Oakland Raiders.
And goes down, and Max Crosby, who forced a fumble last week.
You're listening to Murf, Mosh, and Swag Jeff on Raiders Fan Radio. Thank you so much. Just win, baby.
So Swag Jeff, I don't know if you heard.
Oh, I heard.
There could be some toxicities, the kids say, on the Twitters.
Twitter can be an interesting place, man.
I love it. I love Twitter. It's an incredibly powerful tool. I use it for numerous things, for my own news and, way to stay informed. Entertainment. Like there's a lot of funny people on Twitter. There's a lot of great Raider fans that I follow. Shout out Pepe in Vegas, man, is one of my favorites. Like there's some great Twitter followers out there, or Twitter users out there that are big Raider fans, and I'm a big fan of their overall tone and not taking things too seriously, very much in the same vein of that we are with the way that we handle our show and our presence on Twitter. I took a shot at Derek Carr because right now one of the popular memes going around is people putting like the Bills did it, right, with Buffalo Bills, and they put a picture of Josh Allen where he was all like, "Grr," and it said 1 ticket to Oppenheimer, please. And then the next one, it said 1 ticket to Barbie, please. And it was Josh Allen doing this really like silly face and whatever, right? So I did one about 1 ticket to Oppenheimer, and it's Derek Carr flying into the end zone in Fresno State over, shout out to boy Will Compton, into the end zone, scoring a touchdown. And then 1 ticket to Barbie, please. And I put a picture of Derek Carr fumbling it out of the end zone with Jeff Heath on his back against the Dallas Cowboys.
Right.
This is just a joke. Like,
it's a joke.
It's just a joke. Like, I'm not even picking at Derek. I just thought it was funny. You know what I mean? And so there are a lot of people that can take it in that way. And that's when my Twitter is my favorite. Kelly Kreiner, one of Scott Gilbranson's former hosts at Silver and Black Today. Really funny guy on Twitter. Love our interactions with Scott. Love our interactions with Compton. Love it.
Right.
There's a lot of funny, cool, and it's in Twitter and all social media can just be whatever you decide to make it, right? Yeah. So for a Raider fan on there, you can do a lot of fun stuff with it. And we do. We also post clips from the show. We'll like take a snippet, a couple minute snippet, and I'm getting ready to go Twitter blue, by the way.
Are you?
Yeah, because we can post long form video.
Oh, well, there
so
you
despite
go.
what anybody thinks about buying verification, as a show producer, there's a lot of benefits to it. So we're getting ready to do that. But anyways, so we post videos on there for people that just kind of like get familiar with our show, hear a hot take, whatever. And Jeff and I, nor Michelle, never will have a take to get clicks. That's not how we roll. We often, though, have conversations with each other that during one of our shows, if we come up with something that's an impassioned take on something, whether it's controversial or not, doesn't matter. But if we think it's this was a really good point that you made, Jeff, or hey, Murf, that was, you were on fire on that one. We'll take that and post it up on the Twitter.
Oh, yeah.
Because it generates conversation. Well, sometimes these things generate smoke. And Swag Jeff, tell them what happened this week, because and the reason that I want to talk about this is not to sit here and like pick on Twitter people or whatever like that, although we will. But that's not the design of it. The design of it is that this show is best when it's conversational. And while our interactions and our conversations on our YouTube comments and our live chat and all that stuff, they're 99% positive. So I think it's an interesting exploration into the people that think we're full of shit.
Yeah. Well, and it's fans of a certain former player of ours that really come out to play. So they really come out to play. So I want to, so first and foremost, I've never really gotten the heat on the Twitter like what I got this past week. The Swag Jeff Twitter was taking freaking bullets, man, like big time, I mean, and awesome. And I love it, because I've seen people hate on your stuff. I've seen, some of our other, fellow creators and stuff, catch strays and stuff like that. I've never really been a part of that a whole lot, but until this week, I can check that off my list because a guy, Marlon Lopez, called me a little fat guy who just talks to myself. And he didn't call me guy. Yeah, he didn't, and he didn't say guy. Said, we ain't been there since before Carr chump stopped making it about one guy, freaking Mahomes guzzler. Wow.
Mahomes guzzler.
Yeah. Yeah. So stuff like that. What else do all these podcast bozos have never broken any news. They're just broken records. My 10-year-old son is less dramatic and self-serving. These adults want clicks so bad that they melt at any criticism. Weird. So,
so are we melting at criticism?
I mean, I don't think so.
No, we're embracing criticism.
Yeah, we love it because you're giving us what we what you saying that we want. That's just crazy to me that and because they're retweeting us and then trying to dog us. I'm like, what you're doing the Lord's work and putting our name out there. Yeah. Like, appreciate you.
It's the goal is to not have an adversarial interaction.
Sure.
The goal is to have a conversation with fellow Raider fans.
Absolutely.
Now, just because we don't have the same point doesn't
mean that we're wrong.
Yeah. And it also doesn't mean that you're wrong. It's just a Raiders conversation. So it's hilarious to me that it immediately goes to a fight.
Oh, yeah.
That's the part that cracks me up. It's like, like if the response to you was like, because you were saying something along the lines of like, I'm excited for Jimmy Garoppolo. Like, why not? Like, it's what we got, so I'm going to be excited for it. I've got a new word for you. I'm not anticipating.
Oh, well, there you go.
You know what I mean? I'm not expecting to be let down. I'll be let down when we're let down, and then we'll be critical of that. But I'm not going to go into it assuming we're going to get let down, because what if we don't? Or what if we aren't?
Sure.
So that idea of like, well, you're a little fat F because you want to be excited about the guy that's actually going to play football for us this year.
Right.
And it's such a weird thing.
Moving on from a guy that wasn't getting the job done, not absolving any other facet of this organization, not absolving the coach, not absolving the defense, not absolving the owner, the GM, all these other things. But I picked a thing that I said, that sucks and it needs to get better. That's what it was. Because the bar is one of our rivals that consistently wins on a consistent basis, and our guy that we had at the same position wasn't playing at that level. And so it's time to try something different. Whether it be better, whether it be worse, that's up to debate. And because we haven't seen it, we don't know. But what it was is what it was, and it needed to be different. So, but that doesn't absolve any of the other issues that this team has, because there are several. We got to get better all the way around. But
yeah, that's so funny to me. And that's the other thing too, is that it's like, it's interesting that like, if you criticize the defense, then then you're giving an excuse to the quarterback. If you criticize the quarterback, well, then you're giving an excuse to the defense. If you're yelling about the coaching staff, well, it's like, these things are not all independent of one another. And that's the other part of the thing that just cracks me up, where it's like, it's really just like with the thing with Josh Jacobs and with the Raiders.
Right.
Two things can be true at the same time.
Yeah.
There can be multiple truths simultaneously.
Yeah.
We can talk about Derek in a way that we would have desired improvement. Doesn't mean that we can't also acknowledge the fact that the defense has been ass for the most part for 20 years. No one's disputing that.
Well, and we've said it
happens to be the topic of discussion. I got another one for you.
Okay.
How about this? I put up one of the last videos that I posted on there.
Yes.
Which got 95% positive interaction.
Sure.
Was my little rant about Lester Hayes being in the Hall of Fame and the importance of preserving the Raiders' championship legacy in the Hall of Fame before it's too late. So we don't end up with another situation like Ken Stabler or Cliff Branch, where we induct these guys posthumously They're taking their championship legacy with them, and how important it is for us to not only document that, but it's important for the next up and coming generations of Raider fans, for these Raiders now to develop their own legacy and championship stories. That way, when, I'm a 50-year-old man, my clock's ticking too. I'm taking my fandom with me. My kids have never seen the Raiders do anything other than suck.
Sure.
So you know what I'm saying? Like, so it's important for not only for us to document the past, but then also reinvent with a new version of a championship future. That was my message.
Sure.
And I'm glad to spew that again. And I'm going to spew that one a lot, because that really clicked with me the other day when we were talking about Lester. Well, sure enough, here comes Twitter guy. And there was like 4 or 5 people that were telling me that, well, Steve Newski needs to go in before Lester Hayes. Jim Plunkett needs to go in before Lester Hayes. Blah, blah, blah. Like all these people saying that, like, oh, here's all these other Raiders that are more deserving to go in than Lester Hayes. Listen, man, Lester Hayes is the topic because Lester Hayes is the one that's being recognized by the senior committee. Follow along. It doesn't, I'm not saying that Steve Wisniewski shouldn't be in the Hall of Fame.
Sure.
Or Jack Tatum or anybody else. But that's not the topic of conversation. The topic of conversation is Lester freaking Hayes.
Right.
So if the topic of conversation is Derek freaking Carr, it doesn't mean that we don't think the defense is ass too. So those things, it blows my mind the way that people can't freaking understand multiple things at the same time.
Yeah.
Like to break it down into this lowest common denominator and then bitch about it on Twitter just cracks me up.
Oh, it cracks me up. Well, and so the post that I made about, what we just talked about, mine was about 50% hate. And yours was 95% positive. Mine was about 55% positive, which is great and fine and wonderful. But, my retort to a lot of those people, and I know you've done something similar, was, if you have a problem with what we're saying and you're saying, oh, this content is trash. Oh, you guys are riding Derek's nuts. Oh, he's gone. Move on. He has all this stuff. You follow that up with, okay, well, if you think our content is bad, we have a thing called the Raiders Fan Radio Hotline. We have a See a Fan segment. Please call us and tell us how we can improve. Tell us your opinion, whatever. And their response always is, no thanks, not interested. Or, oh, that's the ruse that Murf tried on me or whatever. Okay, well then shut up. And, don't hide behind your user.
That's the thing, is that like that whole idea of like, oh, you guys are hiding from criticism. Whatever. No, I will play your voice on our show. Like, I will give you a platform. We will give you a platform. We'll read your damn email. Instead of keeping it to 140 characters because you don't want to pay for Twitter Blue, put it in a damn email and send it to us at show@RaidersFanRadio.com.
There you go.
And this is the thing, and I think here's the last thing I'm going to say, and then I'll shut up about it, because I don't want to. I feel like I'm verging on the level of bitching about this stuff, and I'm not being a bitch about it. But like this show is best when it's conversational. And this show is best when it's long form. If you're taking a 2-minute video or a 1.5-minute video of something we had to say on Twitter and basing your entire, whatever, or opinion around us and what we do around that, it's a little misguiding. And now that's why I want to play long form video. That's why I want us to be able to play an episode of our show on Twitter and not just these little clips. That way people can kind of see it and get it within context a little bit more, maybe make a little bit more sense. But at the end of the day, I'll just say this to Twitter guy, positive and negative. We want to converse with you.
Yeah. Please call in and tell us how stupid we are, because we're the lighter side journey into the dark side, right? So we
know we're stupid.
We know we're stupid, and we totally embrace that. And if you tell us we're stupid, we'll find ways to laugh about it and be
absolutely.
and we'll make it a shtick, man.
Absolutely.
It's funny.
Absolutely. So yeah, so bring it on, Raider Nation. Make those phone calls, send us those emails. And then the last thing I'll say is this. And it's funny because I also have gotten this response when I invite people to do that. They go, "Well, just so I can make content for you for your own show?" Bruh, we do a 3-hour show and could go longer every single week, plus do these things off the top of our head practically. Like, we don't need your help in content, but we would love to talk to you. We'd love to have your conversation.
Absolutely.
Hey, what's up? It's Brockman from the Rich Eisen Show.
And it's Del Tufo from the Rich Eisen Show.
You're listening to Murf and Mosh on Raiders Fan Radio. Yes.
All right, Raider Nation, appreciate you hanging in with us here for an episode of the Raiders Fan Radio Rundown. Swag Jeff, we got a big weekend coming up.
We do.
We got a big weekend coming up. We've got Vegas weekend coming up August. I don't remember what the dates are exactly. We'll be out there, whatever, when we come out.
Well, the game, the first game is August 13th.
August 13th.
Yes.
So we will be in Vegas for the weekend of August 13th. The Raiders, if you follow them on their social media, put out a really cool post. It was, I'm always going to butcher his name.
I don't know who you're talking about.
Gabaja Biamila. What's his dang name?
Yeah, that's his name.
Is it Amir?
I don't know.
Anyways, you know what I'm talking about.
Okay.
He's a guy that had a cup of coffee with the Raiders, and now he hosts a lot of stuff on their socials.
Oh, right on.
Amir Abakja Biamila, I think is.
Okay.
I can never say it right. I apologize. I apologize to him, and I apologize to anybody that I just butchered your name. But anyways, it's him and Jim Plunkett hanging out at Mandalay Bay.
Yes.
And it's him and Jim, and not only are they hanging out at Mandalay Bay, they're hanging out at the Mandalay Bay Beach, where you and I are going to be on Monday.
Heck yeah.
So after the game on Sunday, my best friend and yours, Swag Jeff, will be hanging out at the Mandalay Bay Beach. So if you see us out there, come by and yell, Raiders!
That's it. And buy us a cocktail.
Yeah, or we'll buy you one.
Or we'll buy you one.
Yeah.
You buy us one, we'll buy you one.
Nice, stingy, Jeff.
Well, dang. Come on, man.
Jeez. Oh,
I'm thirsty, bro.
I got you. I'll buy you one, and he's on his own.
He got you.
Anyways, come say hi to us. But more importantly than the beach, the Mandalay Bay Beach,
Yes.
is we are going to go to the game,
Yes.
which will be a lot of fun because Uncle Mosh will be with us, Cousin Sonny will be with us, so that will be a great time. But most importantly, that day, we are going to be hanging out and celebrating the Raider Dad folks as they do their annual trip where the One Nation Foundation is a supporter this year of this outing for underprivileged kids and their parental figures to a Raider game.
Yep.
There's going to be a ton of food. There's going to be a ton of really cool people there. I think our buddy Graff is going to swing through.
Yep.
So we're going to have a blast out there at the tailgate. It's in Lot H.
Lot H, like right next to the black hole. So you can come and hang out with us. Then you go and grab a bacon-wrapped hot dog and a Corona from the black hole tailgate.
Perfect. Absolutely. So definitely come by and say hi. We're going to get out there about 10:30, go to about 11:30, and then head on into the game.
Yep.
So definitely come by and check us out. Much respect to Josh Camonite and the Raider Dad folks, and appreciate our partnership with them. And look forward to meeting you, man. And one of my favorite things that we do when we go out and do meetups and whatever, I love getting to see people and talk to people that we interact with on socials and YouTube comments and YouTube chats and all that kind of stuff.
Absolutely.
Love it. It's always so fun to be able to put a handshake and a face to a name or a hug and you know what I mean? So definitely.
Well, and even more so than that too, I really enjoy seeing our fans that are from different sides of the world interacting with each other, and they met through our show. You know, so
blows my mind.
It blows my mind, you know. So you see, you know, I think it was like last year, year before, or whatever. Kill Jada sent us a picture of like him and Big Bass Raider, hanging out or whatever. And then we saw, you know, I mean, we saw it live and in person last year in the fan cave when, you know, Ebony Graves, Tida Raider, you know, Michelle, all the, you know, everyone's on here, Tyrone, all that, Raider Ramon, everyone's there doing the show together and all that, and you're just like sitting back going, wow, like this is so cool.
And then like the Music City Raider Nation party the next night.
There you go.
Houston Raider Steve was there. John Ogle was there.
Yep.
Like tons of our listeners were there. That when we did the tailgate, Corey Fleck was there with his Will Compton jersey when we did the tailgate with the Bussin' guys. Like so, and shout out Jimmy Zebach was there. Anyways, those are it's so fun. So if you're going to be in Vegas, if you're going to be at the game, August 13th, please come by the Raider tailgate.
Yeah.
Please come by and say hello. We would love to see you and love to give you a hug, shake your hand. I'll buy you a beer because tight ass over here won't do it.
Gosh.
All right. What else do we got?
I don't know. What else we got?
We're on it. Well, I don't know if we want to hit a break.
Okay, let's hit
Hit a break. Damn it, Jeff. Hit a break.
Hey folks, I know 3 things you might like. Do you like football? Do you like the Las Vegas Raiders? Do you like listening to things? I'll add a 4th. Do you like swag? Well, here we got Swag Jeff, Murf, Uncle Mosh. This is Raiders Fan Radio.
So all that talk, Swag Jeff, about the Hall of Fame
Yeah.
that we did last week, and the topic of Lester Hayes being inducted next year as a potential from the senior committee. Well, this year we don't have any Raiders going in, but there is going to be a special ceremony for the Hall of Fame class of 1988 and the 35th year anniversary of said draft class, which
Absolutely.
includes who?
Oh, well, our buddy Freddie B.
Fred frickin' Bolitnikoff. So it will be so cool.
1988 was a great year.
Oh, that was the year you were born, huh?
Yeah, it was a great year. Yeah, Freddie B goes in the Hall of Fame and Swag Jeff is born.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Wow. How about that?
Yeah.
Jeez.
Pretty cool.
Raider image hadn't been the same since. But yeah, so that's going to be cool. I don't know what they have in store yet. We'll stay tuned and find out what the Hall of Fame is going to do to celebrate that class. But knowing that Freddie B is going to be part of it, there's definitely going to be a Raider vibe going on.
Totally.
And so we're going to look forward to seeing that, and can't wait to see it coming up. Shoot, dude, like next month.
Yeah.
It's coming up right around the corner, man.
Right on.
Because we've got rookies for the Raiders report tomorrow, the 20th,
Yes.
and then veterans report on the 25th.
Yeah.
So 5
the
days
25th,
from now.
so what that be? 25th is what? Tuesday of next week? Is it or Monday?
Yeah, I don't do math.
I think it's Tuesday of next week. So that will also be, when we find out if we're gonna pay Jimmy Garoppolo all that money.
Oh,
right?
interesting. Yeah.
So
he's got to
he's only got
healthy.
He's got to report healthy.
If he's not healthy, if he's not a full go, right? Then the Raiders can rescind that contract. Yeah.
Yep, 100%.
Interesting times, my friend. So we'll see what happens there. Maybe that's when we trade for Matt Stafford. Ooh, hot take.
Oh man. Hey. Well, because what's going on with that? So he said he didn't want to restructure his contract, right? He didn't want to take a pay cut.
Uh-huh.
And okay.
Hey, I'm just saying that's badass.
Crazier shit's happened,
I
right?
mean, I don't want to get into the crazy speculation hot take game. But man, they made a play for Devontae last year. It's not like this regime isn't willing to make a move for a big name player. Can you imagine Matt Stafford as our quarterback? I can.
Yeah, I can too.
Oh, ooh.
Yeah. Well, Jimmy's our quarterback now.
Jimmy's our quarterback right now.
Yeah.
But you're right. It's going to be interesting to see what happens on the 25th.
Yep.
Going to be very interesting. So that's what's coming up. Speaking of, I'll save that to the end. Speaking of Fred, about what we're going to do in Vegas for November.
Okay.
We'll save that as our parting shot. But since we're talking about camp, aside from something crazy like that, right?
Sure.
Like it's whenever we watch wrestling with Uncle Mosh, we always pick like our big like surprise run in, like who we think's gonna, is the glass gonna shatter and Stone Cold's gonna come out?
Sure.
Is Brock Lesnar gonna come out or whoever else? That would be the glass shatter of effectively of the offseason, as if all of a sudden we make a trade for Matt Stafford. Aside from something unlikely, like that. What's kind of the big story or stories that you're wanting to see that you think are going to be important to inform what this season is going to look like for us coming out of training camp?
I think a couple things that has popped into my mind over the last couple days. I think, and maybe hot takey, I think that Chris Smith, safety out of Georgia, I think he might be fighting for a starting job.
Okay.
And I'm really curious to see. So I think you might see a committee kind of thing with Merrick and Marcus Epps and Chris Smith. But I think those safeties are going to be freaking baller. And then also on the offensive side of the ball, I'm not 100% sure that Zeus White is going to have the starting job if Josh Jacobs isn't here.
Okay.
I really liked what I saw, what little we did see. I really liked what I saw out of Britton Brown.
Okay.
Last preseason, all that stuff. He was a dog, man. I really liked his energy, the way he ran hard, all that kind of stuff. So it'd be curious to see, and especially with the Raiders that put out that that graphic, right, that had Zeus, Amir Abdullah, and Brandon Bolden. If none of those three guys were the starters,
oh my
it
gosh,
ends up being a guy
crazy.
like Britton Brown.
Yeah.
But I like him, man. I'm rooting for him. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very, very cool.
Yeah. What about you?
So, defensively, to me, and I think he's going to be the biggest. I think Max Crosby has a shot to be Defensive Player of the Year.
Yeah.
But I think that aside from that, our standout on defense is going to be Divine Diablo. And I think that if the Raiders don't make any more moves at linebacker, we are going to want to see definitive answers on what their strategy is at linebacker. Did they do enough? The shout out the landscape guy.
Yeah. Nice.
Did the Raiders do enough on defense, especially to address linebacker? I think they did, because I think that they know more than we do. And I don't think that they're going to go into a season underprepared at a particular position. I think that they've got a solid plan. Now, is that plan necessarily going to pay out? I don't know. We just got to see. But that's where, to me, it's a camp story, is that, like, how effective is Divine Diablo going to be? Wearing the green dot, how effective is Bob Spillane going to be, playing on the outside, Amari Burney now, who
Sure.
I'm really digging what, the more I learn about him and what his capabilities are.
Yeah.
I think he's going to play a huge part into our defense. And really, when they featured the linebackers in that same graphic,
He was one of the ones featured, right?
He was one of the ones.
Yeah.
It was him, Bob Spillane, and freaking Divine. So,
Yep.
I think that's going to be really, really interesting to see, and how that plays out. And then to go the offensive side of the ball, I want to see Michael Mayer in the preseason, man.
Oh, yeah.
I want to see how dynamic of a player can he be against NFL defenses. I mean, I think over time he's going to be great, but does he have the capability of, like, jumping out to, like, a rookie of the year type,
Sure.
candidate or something like that?
Sure.
Because I think the potential is there for it.
Oh, I think so,
I think
too.
the potential is there for him to break out, because I think that this Raiders team is going to spread the ball around a lot. So he's going to get his share of touches. I really think so. So, and he's competing with a couple of pretty good vets in Austin Hooper and OJ Howard.
Sure.
So if he stands out in the preseason above those guys, that's going to be legit, man. So I'm looking forward to that. So
I like that
Give me
call
Michael
out.
Mayer and Divine Diablo.
I like that call out a lot, because, I think one of the underappreciated stories of the offseason was, what are the Raiders going to do to replace Darren Waller? Because, I mean, say what you will about, the, end of Darren Waller's run and, his inability to, its unwillingness to participate in some of the team things, all that kind of stuff. We traded him away for a 3rd-round pick, which I think we ended up trading away, all that stuff. But, like, Michael Mayer could be that guy that very quickly everyone's like, oh, well, that's why.
Yeah.
Okay, that's the guy.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, you'd look at a guy like, and you look at Jimmy Garoppolo, he's had Kittle for a while. So he's had that, rock star tight end. So if we come in and Michael Mayer balls out, which I think he's going to. I'm really, really, really excited about that kid.
It's like with the 8-ball, you flip it over, all signs point to yes.
100%.
Yeah.
100%. So I'm fired up for him for sure.
Yeah, right on. Right on. So good stuff there. All right, so let us know. Again, our show's best when it's conversational. Let us know what you think. What are some of the stories you're looking for in camp? Jeff, we've got some emails to get to.
Yeah.
Let's go ahead and jump to that. And while you're digging out your phone there, I would like to tell you about this too, that we talked about Fred Bolitnikoff a minute ago. If you've never been to the Bolitnikoff Foundation dinner, we would encourage you to attend that. That's where we're going to present our check on behalf of the One Nation Foundation for hopefully $15,000 this year to the Fred Bolitnikoff Foundation. That is November 3rd. That date has been announced. It's at the Westgate Casino, which is at the northern end of the Strip, up there by Sahara and the Stratosphere and Circus and all that stuff. So come check it out on November 3rd if you want to go to that dinner. And that weekend also, we're kicking around the idea of doing a listener meetup on November 4th. So put that on your calendar. We may be back at the Rockstar Bar, which we had a blast doing a listener meetup at the Rockstar Bar during the draft. So that would be on November 4th. And then November 5th, we're playing the Giants. Speaking of Darren Waller.
There you go.
So put those pins in your calendar, Raider Nation. If you're planning on being in Vegas for that weekend of November 3rd, definitely make it a point to meet up with us. Come say hi. And again, so we can hang out with you and give you a hug and a handshake, man.
There you
and
go.
Jeff won't buy you a beer, but I will.
Oh, my gosh.
Aw. So like Jeff told you a little bit ago, you can contact the show multitude of ways. You can call
We are
us.
based in Middle Tennessee.
All right. Yeah, shit rubs off every once in a while.
Hey.
I don't need to know about your life. Gross.
Yeah.
Hell. Yeah. Just call us 909-345-3346 or send us emails like 3 fantastic participants and listeners did this week at show. That's SHOW at RaidersFanRadio.com.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So first email. So hello, Murf. Saggy J.
We're not wrong.
Well, the beautiful Michelle, and let's not forget Mosh. I've been listening for 4+ years and listened to the show on my 3-hour round trip commute. Also, I don't get off work till the show's almost over. That sucks that I can't be a part of the live chat and communicate with you all. Anyway, I want to jump into what you guys got going on, so here comes this email. I thought this was a good time to chime in and tell you about how I became a Raider fan. Sad but cool story. Back in '77, at the age of 11, I was playing Pop Warner in town next to where we lived. I met a young man that played the same position as me, D-line. We became friends and hung out together outside of football. My new friend is the biggest Raider fan I've ever met. He had Swaggy J beat bands and whatnot. He had Swaggy J beat at the age of 11 with all of his jerseys, hats, and sweatbands, and whatnot. I was a closet Raider fan at that time due to my older brother being a Squealers fan. He was not a nice big brother. My buddy's favorite player was John Matuzak. In '78, as we were all getting ready for our football season, my friend and his family got some horrible news. My friend was diagnosed with terminal cancer, and he would only have about a year to live. So he was so strong and would come to practice and games and just be out there with us. He would suit up and be one of the guys. I would come out of the game, and he would get in for a play or two. But during that '78 season, something magical happened. My friend's mom wrote a letter to Al Davis explaining his situation. From there, the Raiders and his mom set up the most awesome thing my young friend could have ever wanted. Towards the end of the midweek practice, our head coach called the team in, and we took a knee and waited for him to talk to us. We thought we were going to be in trouble. My friend and I were kneeling next to each other waiting. Then we heard a voice from behind us, and one that was deep and loud that we did not recognize. The team swung around their heads almost in unison to see the biggest human we'd ever seen up close. It was Matuzak. You see John and 2 news crews come up to our practice because of my friend and what he and his mom did for him. Tuz got on his knees and played with all of us just a little bit, and it was one of the greatest memories for me and my teammates. We got to go home, watch it on the news. It was super cool. John spent the rest of the day with my pal and kept in contact with him from that point on. The thing I remember most about John Matuzak was the joy in his eyes to be there with those kids, a gleaming smile that I can still see plain as day. My friend passed a year or so later. I will never forget the time we spent in the life gifts that he gave me. I'm a Raider fan because of him, his mom, Al Davis, and of course the Twos. Thank you, my friend. Thank you to my friend, his mom, Al Davis, and John Matuzak. May you all rest in peace. And because of that, I'm an awesome. And because of these awesome peeps, I'm a Raider fan. Much respect, Raider Den.
Wow.
I don't have.
Man, I know. I wish we had the applause here.
Yeah, fantastic.
Oh my gosh, what a heartwarming story that
was
is,
so
man.
cool.
Thank you, Raider Den. Thank you for sharing that.
Yep.
That gave me chills, man. That's
really cool.
That's an incredible story, and rest in peace to all of those folks. And that's just, those are the stories that where we get caught up in the minutia and the bullshittiness of sports, and sometimes with our own fandoms and things like that. Those are the kind of things that, that's what makes sports great. Oh, yeah. Is connecting people. You know what I mean?
100%.
Like, whether that's connecting teammates or connecting with players and coaches or connecting fans or it's Cousin Sonny, who is a drug and alcohol addictions counselor and runs his own practice. And actually he does all kinds of counseling. More than just that. But anyways, he often talks about how important relationship is, and sometimes you got to have something to gather around. And sports and football and the Raiders have always been that for our family. It's been that in our friendship. It's been that, other things too, of course, but it's just that one thing to where you mentioned getting together. We mentioned getting together with all those people and all that. All those relationships don't form if the Raiders don't exist.
There you go.
Yes,
100%.
It's our voices and our microphones reach out to those people, but we're not doing a show if the Raiders aren't a thing. So the idea that a team can connect people, sometimes in sad circumstances like that, sometimes in celebratory circumstances, whatever they are, the bottom line is it's connecting people, connecting people across, all times, all,
Absolutely.
ethnicities and backgrounds and socioeconomic setups and all that. It doesn't discriminate. It connects us all and gives us all that one thing. And I love stories like that. That's why this show is called Raiders Fan Radio.
Absolutely.
Because we love to hear those stories from fans. That's amazingly touching. Thank you, Raider Den.
Yep. Thank you, Raider Den. Hi, guys.
Hi.
Hope you're all well. I've been a Raider fan since '82 when the UK introduced a fourth TV channel and an NFL show that was created to fill the schedule. It was a breath of fresh air with former Patriot kicker Mick Luckhurst presenting it for many years. My first NFL shirt I purchased was number 32 Marcus Allen. What a player, which sadly brings me on to my point. I watched your show 291 and felt compelled to chip in with all this crap coming from New Orleans. As someone who supports anyone who rocks the silver and black, I can understand and acknowledge the trials and tribulations he's endured, coach after coach, scheme after scheme, and not to mention the politics of moving to Vegas, then all the drama. Then when the storm clouds evaporated and a new dawn approached, he wasn't up to the job, sadly. There was no excuses, and I think he's talking about Derek Carr, maybe. There's no excuses in a game that's a multi-billion-dollar industry, which he had plenty. He failed to recognize that his career was over, and the brotherhood Al Davis created for those who adorn the silver and black may look upon him as a crybaby, happy to shit the bed, and not one shining bright in a period of darkness. I've often thought of buying his jersey, but never did. Couldn't bring myself to do it as it wouldn't be cool. Don't mention the dreary post-game eulogies or the fake "it's on me" rubbish. Wish him well in New Orleans, but his vanity can't stop him thinking about the Raiders because that is because they were cool dudes. Thanks for listening to my rant. Love the show and its format and look forward to the next episode. Kindest regards, Tartan Raider, Glasgow, Scotland.
Hey,
go Raiders.
Tartan Raider.
There you go. Much respect.
Man, much respect.
A couple of newbies.
Yeah, I love it, man.
Love
Shout
it.
out Silver and Black UK, man. That's really cool, man. Love to hear that. And wow, that's really cool.
Yeah.
That's really cool. Love to hear from those folks over across the pond, as the kids say.
That's it.
And that's a heck of a take, man. And I'm, I don't want to beat up on Derek anymore. We've done.
Yeah, we're done.
Done our share of that. But just know this, brother, that those words they resonate very well here in the foyer.
We with you, bro.
Yeah, we with you.
Yep, we with you. Evening, everybody. Hope you're all well. These are these are battles all over the NFL right now. Running backs versus the NFL. Josh Jacobs versus the Raiders.
Yeah.
Lester Hayes versus the Hall of Fame.
Let's go.
John Gruden versus the NFL.
This must be Paul.
Phillip Rivers versus the overpopulation of America. Josh Jacobs. So now we know where we stand on things, sort of. I understand both sides of the argument, and it's a sensitive issue that isn't easy to resolve, but they have to find a way. The numerous backs affected around the league are making a stand for their rights, which is good, and I applaud them for it. Something has to be done for the position in general. Right now, though, all I care about is the Raiders, and we need a happy Josh Jacobs at the start of the regular season, not one that doesn't care anymore. I think we can all expect him to play week 1, but will he have that fire in his belly? The backfield without Josh Jacobs scares the shit out of me, and we cannot at all costs let it divide the locker room. And that is true. We can't let this affect the locker room.
You know what? That's to me the biggest danger in all this.
I think so,
Silver
too.
and Black Today guys talked about that. So shout out Scott and Mo. They've made this point numerous times. Josh McDaniels gets year 3 unless there's an all-out mutiny. Well, if they lose half the locker room because of this thing,
yep,
there you go. And that's not good for anybody, regardless of how you feel about McDaniels and Ziegler. Do we really want to piss away another year? Right. You know what I mean? Of Raider football? I don't. You know what I mean? I want the guys that are there now to be successful so we can get this thing back on track. So, but that's a very, very interesting call out there.
Yep.
Yeah, good stuff, Paul.
Yep. By all accounts, a deal was close to being done, so let's hope it can be resolved soon. On to the Hall of Fame. I could list the achievements of Lester Craig Hayes, but you already know him. I could tell you what an innovative player he was, but you already know that. I could tell you he was the best cornerback of his generation, but that's already written in history. The only people you've ignored are these facts are in Canton. And now they have the chance to make it right, as they did with Snake and Cliffy. Sadly, it was too late for them to enjoy it personally, but they got there in the end. There are still numerous Raiders that deserve their moment in the sun, but this is Lester's chime. Please make it happen. John Gruden versus the NFL. I let my feelings be known about Chucky in a recent email, and I cannot wait for him to take the NFL through the courts. If he has the chance to take down Roger Goodell and the cartel that exists, then he has my full support. I love that he's already turned down a settlement offer, and I believe he only has one more hurdle to overcome concerning the NFL wanting arbitration. And if that clears and it goes all systems go, it could be the case of the be careful what you wish for, but I bet there's a lot of snide, unethical owners losing sleep as they find ways to dispose of it as much evidence as possible. It's going to be eye-opening watching it play out. And finally, Phillip Rivers. Here we go.
Gosh.
Here we go again, folks.
It's not a clown car, Mrs. Rivers.
Yeah, right. Here we go again, folks. The biannual population, explosion that is Phillip Rivers. For the love of God, can't he just leave that poor woman alone? What's the matter with the man? He can't find himself another hobby now that he's finished playing. I doubt they even take the woman to the hospital anymore. She just gives birth in a box under the stairs. Jeez. Like a cat, like a stray cat. Oh my gosh. Training camp's nearly here, folks.
He just goes,
Stay safe, RFR family. Love you, Raider Nation. His Lordship, the Royal Scribe, Paul Edgerton, Shropshire, Mississippi, Paulie Award winner 2019 and 2022, Foggy Glasses Award winner 2020, BRT Sizzler scorekeeper, proud made man, five time times two plus one winner of the Raiders Fan Radio BRT Sizzler Award. Paul. Hello, Paul.
Is your name Paul?
Hi, I'm Paul.
We appreciate you, Paul. And appreciate all of our emailers tonight.
Yeah, absolutely.
That was great, man. So we had Paul, we had Raider Den.
Yep.
And tell me the guy from Scotland again.
Oh, that was Tartan Raider.
Tartan Raider. We
Yep,
appreciate you, the three of you. Thank you so very, very much. And again, if you want to get in on that, you can email us at show, that is SHOW, at RaidersFanRadio.com, or call us. And on our live show, we feature your phone calls at 909-345-3346. We will be back again next week for another rundown next Wednesday from somewhere here in the house.
Yeah.
So definitely check.
A place you haven't seen.
Yeah, we'll be in another new room.
There you go.
So we hopefully.
Yeah.
Well, no, not hopefully.
Oh.
Hopefully, maybe not. Maybe because like I'm selling the house or something.
Oh, that'd be cool.
That'd be cool. Anyways,
cool.
Well, anyways, we'll be back again. So check us out next week. We come to you live typically, or at least with a show, every Wednesday at 5 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern. So definitely check us back out again, Raider Nation. We love you guys so very, very much, and what you do to help us support our nonprofit, which is the One Nation Foundation, and give solely to Raiders-related charities like the good folks of the Blitnikoff Foundation, and also Raider Dad, where we will be out there watching them host about 100 families, I think, or 80 families. I forget how much.
I think like 100 people.
100 people.
Yeah,
okay.
I think it was
like 20
50,
families,
like
or
25 to 50 families.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anyway, so we'll be out there to see that on August 13th at the Raiders preseason game against the Niners. So come on out there, check us out, help support Raider Dad, help support the One Nation Foundation. We love you guys so very, very much, and we will see you next week.
Absolutely. And hey, we will be back next week for a rundown, and then we're going to go live back to back. So we'll go live at the Red Phone booth in Nashville on August 2nd, and then follow that up with August 9th, right before the first preseason game. We'll be there. We'll be here live, and we'll be raffling off a signed Bo Jackson jersey.
It's a beaut.
It's a beaut, man. It's absolutely gorgeous. The away white. It's absolutely amazing. Can't wait for that either, because it's all going to the One Nation Foundation. What was the last point I was going to make that was really cool?
All your points are cool, Jeff.
All my points are cool. I don't know. That's what we got going on. So thanks for tuning in for another episode of Raiders Fan Radio, the Rundown Edition, where we take a lighter side journey into the dark side. Don't forget, boys and girls, what happens in Vegas started in Oakland.
Good night, YouTube.
Goodbye.
Adios, malingerers.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Wish I could remember what I was going to say. That was really cool.
You were on a roll, too.
I was on a roll.
It'll pop into your head as soon as we turn this camera
in
off.
3 seconds.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
Do it.
thank you to our sponsor, United Rentals. We love you.
Do that shit.
Do that shit.